Hi, my name is Emily and I am the Nutrition Access Manager here at Second Harvest Food Bank, and today we are cooking pumpkin breakfast bar. We are going to start off with 3 cups of quick oats. So we're going to put those in our bowl right here. 2. And so before you begin, just make sure that you wash your hands and that your counter is clear of any type of debris. Also, you want to make sure that your counters are cleaned as well as sanitized before you begin. Okay, so now we're going to add half a teaspoon of baking soda. And then we are going to have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're going to add our other spices, and these are all optional. So if you don't have any of these, you can just do 2 teaspoons of cinnamon instead. So this is half a teaspoon of allspice, and this is half a teaspoon of nutmeg. So this is all for that pumpkin spice that you see in the stores during the holiday season. This is what the spices that it's made of. And then half a teaspoon of ground ginger. Okay, so we're just going to mix that together. So you just want it well incorporated so that you don't have one clump of one spice somewhere. So you just want to make sure that your flavor is going all the way through. And it's okay to be a little messy in the kitchen. There's always going to be a little bit of mess, but that's what makes it fun. All right, so that looks well mixed. So we're done with the dry ingredients, so we're just going to set that aside. And now we're going to work on our wet ingredients. So we're just going to take 2 overripe bananas. So just peel them. And so bananas are a great way to make sure that your cakes are nice and moist. But they're also a good natural sugar. So they also give it a sweet flavor. That's why banana bread is so delicious. Okay, so we're just going to take a fork and we're just going to mash it. And this is a great way that you can get your kids involved in the kitchen because it is a lot of fun and it's a good stress reliever. So I would recommend it for anyone. So you just want to make sure that it's all mashed. So now we are going to add our pumpkin. So before we add our pumpkin, you just want to make sure that you take a clean cloth, or if you want to put it under the sink, just wipe off the top of that can. You just never know where it's been. So we're going to open it with a can opener. It doesn't want to come open on me. All right, so we're just going to add the entire can. Okay, and the other things that we're going to add is we're going to add a teaspoon of vinegar. I know sounds a little weird, but trust me. And then we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now, if you would like to use just vanilla imitation, that's also perfect. Okay, good. And we are also going to add half a cup of milk. There we go. And then our 2 eggs. All right, so we're just gonna give that a good stir and just make sure that it's all well incorporated. And this is actually the baking dish that I'm going to use. So my rule of thumb is always to make sure that you don't have too much work. Don't add any extra work to yourself. So I'm going to use this to actually make my bars as well, so that I don't have an extra dish to clean. All right, so mix it really well. And the other great thing about pumpkin is that it is also a good fat substitute. So if you're ever doing any kind of baking and it calls for a bunch of oil, you can actually add pumpkin instead. And then you also get your vitamin A while getting some veggies in. And this is also a great recipe that you can make the night before if you know that your morning is going to be really busy. So it's really easy, as well as your kids can get involved because it's really just mixing things together. Just make sure that they do not eat the raw before you cook it, because it does have raw eggs in it and it could make them sick. So I usually just, whenever I'm adding my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients, I do about half at a time, just to make it a little more manageable. And so you just want to mix it until all of the oats are incorporated. And I did like to use the quick oats just because I just like the texture of them better for baking. But you're also more than welcome to use the old-fashioned. They're basically the same thing, just these are chopped a little bit finer. All right, so I'm gonna add the rest of my oats. And it smells like pumpkin pie, so it smells delicious. And this is just a 7 by 11 baking dish, but you're more than welcome. If you like it to be not as thick, but a little bit thinner, then you can also use like a 13 baking dish, and a bigger baking dish. All right, starting to come together. All right, and now we have a great Halloween treat or a quick morning breakfast. Okay, and I'm just going to ease out all the sides. So we are all done with mixing it. Now we're just going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. So we will be back in just a minute and we'll show you what the final product looks like. So welcome back, and now our pumpkin breakfast bars have made it out of the oven after 30 minutes. So now we can just scoop it out with a spoon or spatula, whatever you would like. And you can eat it as it is, or you can drizzle a little bit of maple syrup on it, and that's what I'm going to choose to do, is just drizzle a little bit. It doesn't need a ton of sweetness, but it does enhance the flavor. Or you could do honey, anything like that. So now you have a protein-packed, fiber-full breakfast, and you're ready to go. So thank you so much for watching our video, and we hope to talk to you soon.